All right, are we ready? Excuse me. All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Larry James. I own a company called Speak with Larry, no spaces. And what I'm doing today, starting today, is I'm creating videos for you guys in line with understanding the stock market. Now, I'm an investor already, but I'm preparing to invest on a larger scale. And the way my mind works and the way I recommend your mind work is when you decide to start to invest money, you need to invest your knowledge or your time gaining the knowledge so that you're not gambling. It's more strategic, right? And it's not that difficult to do, but we should all be involved in the stock market at this point. This is 2021, and the majority of money that's made in this country, since America is a capitalistic society, is in the stock market. And that's where people, have an opportunity to take small amounts of money and grow that money. Now, what I want to share with you today is, excuse me, the process of understanding how to do just that. Now, my company, Speak with Larry, teaches people how to set up the foundation of an online business while helping them become more comfortable speaking about it. But the process that I teach people is the same process that I'm going through right now to show you guys how to understand the stock market. So if you would put yourself in my seat right here, you would be talking about the topic that you want to share with an audience that you would be creating. Like right now, if you were beginning, you wouldn't have an audience. But since I've been doing this, I have an audience. So I'll be marketing my information, this video and other videos, to those audiences. I also have a podcast show, as you can see. I create a podcast every Monday, and I created a podcast yesterday on, guess what? Right, understanding the stock market. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I want to learn it for myself the way I need to know so that I can put together the strategies that I'm going to use to grow my money, right? So by me teaching, because it's me to have a system in place that's repetitive. So I'm constantly repeating it. It's constantly being embedded in my thought processes and my brain, which is exactly why it's good for you guys to listen to these videos and play them back if like, or if you need more clarity. But the fun part about it is I want it to be really casual because I've got a lot of things that I do, but because this is necessary for my system to get to the point that I want it to be, then I need to gain that knowledge. So just relax, kick back. I'm going to take it from the very beginning of how things work, right? Because a lot of times, if you just thrust into a system, it's harder for you to understand it. But if you get to understand from the foundation, like I say, my company teaches, then you have a different perspective, right? So I'm going to try to make these about 30 minutes long. Sometimes they'll go a little longer because the way the system that I created is set up is I have an email address. That email address is lowercase Larry 5969 at sbcglobal.net. And if you go to that, if you send me an email to that email address and just type in the search box or the subject box, let's talk stocks, then I'll know you're interested in learning more or participating in this process. And by you participating in the process, when I do another show, another video, which I'll be doing these videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. So you need to make sure that your schedule is aligned with that if you plan on coming on. right? Because it's going to be a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of good people. There'll be other people come along. And if not, don't worry about that. That's not the objective here. The objective is for me to learn it. But since I'm going to be learning it, I might as well teach it. So it helps me learn it quicker. But not only will it help me learn it quicker, I'm going to package and archive all this, and I'll package and I'll sell it after I finish, because I'm a businessman. That's how business people do. We create systems and processes once, and then, make income from them, generate a revenue. That's how I recommend you do it. That's what you're able to do in this world today. But getting back to the email, once you email me, like say 10 minutes till 7, I would send you the link. Maybe the day before. I don't know. It just depends. But I would send you that link via your email. So you would check your email. You would open that email, click on that link at 7 o'clock, and I would allow you to come into the room, right? This would be the room. Now, I'm going to have different backgrounds because I'm really big on backgrounds. I like what's called virtual backgrounds. So you'll see things that are really, really impressive. And you'll be able to do the same thing with your system as you gain that knowledge. But this is actually my background for my company, what I use when I create videos that I want to market my system, right? Because you see Speak with Larry everywhere, right? Even on my shirt, I need to adjust my camera. Let me adjust my camera right quick. Now, that's how comfortable this really is, because I wouldn't normally adjust my camera in a setting that's, marketing where I'm getting paid. But this is a lot of fun, and a lot of people need to learn about the stock market. So what I'm going to do on this part is I'm going to read to you some definitions, like about the stock market. And as you learn, listen to what I read to you, you'll get a different understanding, or a different shift. Your mind will say, hey, that's why that happens, or that's why that happens. So I'm going to do that for probably the first 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 videos. Like today is Tuesday. I'll do another video on Thursday, or I'm going to call them meetings. We'll have another meeting on Thursday. And if you want to participate, remember, just shoot me an email and join the fun, right? And over time, like I say, my system, Speak with Larry, is set up on a 30, 60, and 90-day system. I charge $45 per month or $125 for the full 90 days to help you set up the foundation of a business online that you're interested in sharing information and creating an income from. And now, if you can't afford that, then once you can afford it, hit me up and I can walk you through that process. And you can have a system that's generating an income based on what you know or what you're willing to learn and teach. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to I've got a thing right here that I'm going to read to you guys, and as I read it, try to understand that this is exactly how it works. Okay, I'm not an expert, and I'm not giving stock tips, stock advice, none of that. So don't ever say Larry James said to buy this stock or to do this. I'm simply sharing what I actually did some research with a system called Investopedia. You've heard of Wikipedia. Investopedia, I just copied and I'm sharing what they have on their site. And this is how the stock market is set up. So it goes like this. What is the stock market? The stock market refers to the collection of markets and exchanges where regular activities of buying, selling, and assurances of shares of publicly held companies take place. Got that? Okay. I don't want to take you too fast, and I will be interjecting a few things along the way, but I do want you to understand this. This is major, okay? Now, it goes on to say, such financial activities are conducted through institutionalized formal exchanges, over the counter or OTC marketplaces, which operate under a defined set of regulations. Okay, so this stock market operates under a set of regulations. There can be multiple stock trading venues in a country or a region which allow transactions in stocks and other forms of securities. While both terms, stock market and stock exchange, are used interchangeably, the latter term is generally is a subset of the former. In other words, you normally hear stock market first, then you hear stock exchange. Okay? Let me repeat that one more time for you. While both terms, stock market and stock exchange, are used interchangeably, the latter term is generally a subset of the former. All right? It goes on to say, if one says that she trades in the stock market, it means that she buys and sells shares and equities on one or more of the stock exchanges that are part of the overall stock market. Simple, right? The leading stock exchanges in the United States include the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and the Chicago Board Options Exchange. These leading nationally exchanges, along with several other exchanges operating in the country, form the stock market of the United States. Although it is called a stock market or equity market and is primarily known for trading stocks and equities, other financial securities like exchange traded funds, corporate bonds, and derivatives based on stocks, commodities, currencies, and bonds are also traded in the stock markets. Get that picture right there. Although it's called a stock market, other equity markets and is primarily known for trading stocks and equities, other financial securities like exchange traded funds or ETFs, corporate bonds, and derivatives based on stocks, commodities, currencies, and bonds are also traded in the stock market. Now, had I not read that to you and you understood that, you still wouldn't have a kind of feel of the actual stock market. There is a stock market and a stock exchange, and they're interchangeable. Okay? Simple enough, right? But it's absolutely essential that you understand it from this perspective, which is why I like to start from zero or ground zero or the letter A. I like to start from the beginning so that now you've heard that before and you can reflect on it and you can actually play it back again and let it repeat in your mind so that you get a better understanding of how it works, right? And that's one of the beautiful things about the era that we're in right now. Technology has made it where this is not rocket science anymore. You don't have to go to other people and pay large amounts of money to get the results you want. You can study and learn for yourself and get the results you want. Now, the second segment I'm going to talk about today is titled, How the Stock Market Works. That's an interesting title, right? How the stock market works. So it says, in a nutshell, stock markets provide a secure and regulated environment where market participants can transact in shares and other eligible financial instruments with confidence, with zero to low operational risk. That last part, zero to low operational risk, is very important because you have to pay brokers to invest. So you want that to be as low as possible. And there are ways or systems that you can invest. Like what I plan to do is invest in what's called ETFs, exchange traded funds. And I'll get to those later, but they have a very low investment point. Now, it goes on to say, operating under the defined rules as stated by the regulator, the stock market acts as a primary markets and as a secondary markets. As a primary market, the stock market allows companies to issue and sell their shares to the common public for the first time through the process of initial public offering, or an IPO. So when you hear about a company going public, that's what they're doing. They're becoming public. When they become public, they create shares in their company so that investors, just regular people, can buy them. Okay. Now it says this activity helps companies raise necessary capital from investors. You understand the mindset there? Let me read that back to you right quick. As a primary market, the stock market allows companies to issue and sell their shares to the common public for the first time through the process of an initial public offering. This activity helps companies raise necessary capital from investors. It essentially means that a company divides itself into a number of shares. Let's say 20 million shares. Follow me with this process. Let's say 20 million shares, and it sells a part of those shares for, let's say 5 million shares to the common public at a price of $10 per share. Okay? To facilitate this process, a company needs a marketplace where these shares can be sold. This marketplace is provided by the stock market. If everything goes as planned, the company will successfully sell the 5 million shares at a price of $10 per share and collect $50 million worth of funds. Did you follow that? 50 million, or in other words, 20 million shares at $10 per share. No. 5 million shares at $10 per share would be $50 million. But you have 20 million shares. So you still have 15, you still control 15 million shares in your company. So you're still the major stockholder in your company, but you're taking 5 million shares and selling them at $10 per share so that you can increase your money, grow your money. You just made $50 million. That's growing your money, right? Now, I hope you understand that, because it's essential that you get this down, because you want to be knowledgeable so that when I get to the next level, you can understand the strategies involved, because there are strategies. You don't want to just be rolling the dice. You want to actually have a plan in place. Now I'm going to continue reading. It says investors will get the company's shares, which they can expect to hold for their preferred duration, in anticipation of rising in share price and any potential income in the form of dividend payments. The stock exchange acts as a facilitator for its capital raising process and receives a fee for its services from the company and its financial partners. Now, following the first time share assurance, the IPO exercise called the listing process, the stock exchange also serves as the trading platform that facilitates regular buying and selling of listed shares. This constitutes the secondary market. The stock exchange refers to a fee for every trade that occurs on its platform during the secondary market activity. That's key. That's major to understand. Now, the stock exchange shoulders the responsibility of assuring price transparency, liquidity, price discovery, and fair dealings in such trading activities. Also, almost all major stock markets across the globe now operate electronically. The exchange maintains trading systems that efficiently manage the buy and sell orders from various market participants. They form the price matching function to facilitate trading execution at a price fair to both the buyers and the sellers. A listed company may also offer new additional shares through other offerings at a later stage, like through rights issue or through follow-on offers. They may even buy back or delist their shares. The stock exchange facilitates such transactions. Now, the stock exchange often creates and maintains various market level and sector specific indicators like the S&P 500 index or the NASDAQ 100 index, which provide a measure to track the movement of the overall market. Other methods include the stochastic, STOCHASTIC oscillator. I can't pronounce that word. And then the same word, STOCHASTIC momentum index. Now, the stock exchange also maintains all news, announcements, and financial reporting, which can be usually accessed on other financial websites. A stock exchange also supports various other corporate level transactions related activities. For instance, profitable companies may reward investors by paying dividends, which usually come from a part of the company's earnings. The exchange maintains all such information and may support its processing to a certain extent. Now, that's basically what I wanted you to understand today. I wanted you to get an understanding of what that means. That's the foundation. That's day one of understanding the stock market with Speak with Larry. Now, you may already have an understanding about certain terms, certain definitions, and I'm going to go over those in later videos. But what I wanted you to understand or hear was how the stock market works and what the stock market is for those who have never or just, maybe have not been introduced to it. I know you've been aware that it exists, but 60% of the companies in America are on the stock market, 60%, which means they went IPO, initial public offering. They made their company public so that they could sell shares to the public. And by them selling those shares, they came up. Because when you imagine the example they gave, if you have 20 million shares and you sell 5 million shares at $10 each, you just made $50 million. If you had sold those shares at $20, you would have made $100 million like that. So that's why when those shares go up, their value increases, and you need to know what to do with those as an exit strategy, because the stock market fluctuates, it goes up and down, but participating will also help you to understand how it works. But you're going to have to do research, because you need to know who the CEO of those companies are. You need to know how certain things work within the company. And I'll go into that in later videos, but I just wanted to introduce who I am, what I'm going to be doing for the next maybe 30, 60, or 90 days for sure, probably until the end of the year. That's my goal. But, I learn pretty quickly, and repeating this concept allows me to learn even quicker. So not only am I learning, but I'm also helping you guys to learn. So stay tuned, right? Because this is where you want to be if you really want to get a ground level understanding of the stock market and do it for free. Because I'm not going to charge you anything to gain this knowledge. I'm just going to take it upon myself to set aside a slot of time that I'm going to share this information with you guys. And then, like I say, once more of you guys start to come into the meeting, it'll become more back and forth, because I can say, hey, so Barbara, What's your take on that? Or Victor, how did you feel about that? Or you can tell me, Larry, no, I think it would be like this. Like I say, it's what grown-ups do, right? And if you're interested in the stock market, this is a great way to do it. And collaboration, let me say this to you too, from an entrepreneurial perspective, collaboration is more important than money, because who you know and who knows you and the relationship you have far outweighs the financial aspect of it. Why? Because let's say there's a guy or a lady that I know that needs a certain service, and I know you provide that service. Who am I going to recommend for that opportunity? I'm going to recommend you, but only if I know you and I feel like I can trust you, because my word stands for something, right? I have character, have ethics. I don't just say things and don't do them. And I don't recommend you do that either, because this is who you are. You have to stand for something, right? And you're going to learn more on this process than just stock markets, because this is a human experience. We're exchanging ideas, exchanging thoughts, creating understandings about each other's lives and whatnot. And it's a good thing to do, because in the 21st century, we can all be wealthy if we work on it. If wealth is what you seek, right? And I do. Anyway, again, my name is Larry James. Welcome to Speak with Larry, no spaces. And I appreciate you guys stopping by and giving me a view. But if you miss this, you can always view my videos on YouTube. If you go to Speak with Larry, you see it right there, Speak with Larry. Go to YouTube, type in Speak with Larry, no spaces, and I'll show up. And then you go to my financial literacy playlist, and all these videos will be there. All the videos I'm doing in the stock market will be right there for you. So feel free to look at other videos. I've got over 1,000 videos on YouTube already. So enjoy. All right. And I always like to end my show by saying, share with someone else what I've shared with you.